So I swapped the motors out on the smooth operator with some old ones that I had in here. Hooked them up and was having some kind of issues. Tried to resolve it, and in the process of trying to resolve the issues, plugged into my speed controller. Felt a little resistance, didn't give it much thought. Wound up powering it on, and I had bent two of these tabs right here. Wound up frying it. It happens. So we're gonna have to put a new speed controller, and I decided to go ahead and put some new motors on it. Got a smoking deal on some Emax freestyle motors. These are 2306 1700 kV motors. Got them for $8.99 from Emax USA. They had a deal on them. Wish I'd have bought a couple sets of them. Also decided to try out this Diatone Mamba 40 amp ESC. It's running BLHES firmware. So with the new Blue Jay, we'll flash it to it, test it out. Let's get into putting a video transmitter and camera on this thing, and I'm gonna get it buttoned up. We're gonna finish this build. Okay, so I have completely went through this thing, put heat shrink on it, resoldered my motor wires. I had to take everything back off. All that's left is, what I've done is pretty much pulled everything apart, went ahead and put my receiver underneath the speed controller here, and I went ahead and put the video transmitter underneath the flight controller, and I've got a double-sided sticky tape on the underside on this under plate here. Now I can remove this underside plate if I want to do some work, and I'm trying to leave myself and thinking ahead in case if I ever wanted to do any work to it. I can lift the plate, and I'll have plenty of extra slack here as far as wires go, between my receiver wires and everything, to be able to pull that stuff out and not have to take anything loose. I've run the power wires for the video transmitter so I can connect them to the speed controllers. And I'm putting straight voltage to the video transmitter. It's a good idea to make sure that your video transmitter can handle the full voltage of a battery, which I have the Tramp VTX, the high voltage edition, so it can take up to a 6-cell LiPo just fine. And these right here are this is my signal wire right here for my video transmitter, my video signal in, and this right here is my smart audio. I'm going to be connecting the smart audio to TX5. If you remember, I enabled that in the emuFlight GUI. And I'm going to have to connect my video transmitter signal wire. Then I'm going to have to power my camera. I went ahead and run the camera wires. So I'm going to power the camera off the 5 volts off the flight controller, and I'm going to ground it here on this ground, this rail, and then I'll connect up the camera video in, so it goes into the flight controller and goes through the built-in on-screen display right here. I'm going to do all this on camera for you. Let's get it started. So I'm going to go ahead and connect up my Tramp smart audio wire. I'm just going to shorten it just a little bit. Don't need that much. Really been having a time with this new solder, this 6337. I don't really like it too much. I think I'm gonna go back to my old 6040. Stuff right here just seems to react completely different from what I'm used to. I do not like it at all. So right here is the TX5. So I want to be able to tell the Tramp VTX what I want it to do, and that's the smart audio wire. I'll put that away later on. Now I need to get my video signal wire here connected up. I'm not really sure what pad this one goes to, so I'm going to have to refer to the wiring diagram that I had looked for earlier. Like I said, you can always do a quick Google search. You can find wiring diagrams readily available. Some flight controllers today come with a wiring diagram. This speed controller surprised me that it just got a nice little wiring diagram with it and everything. So it looks as if my video transmitter is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That pad right there, which is one away from the ground from my receiver. So that is my video out pad for my video transmitter. Hopefully that's plenty. Don't need to shorten that one, just snip it and tin it. Just like that, video transmitter signal and smart audio is hooked up. Now I'm going to get the camera hooked up. And like I said, the camera signal in is the third pad. It's that one right there. It's already pre-tinned and ready to go. Power and ground. Gonna need let's go with about that much wire for the power and the ground for the camera, and the signal. Just carry it on over here. Now if you didn't want to use the on-screen display, you could just straight wire your video signal out from your camera into your video transmitter, and then some video transmitters you can power your camera off of it. See, I've breached the pad there. That's not good. That's pretty sure that's a power source. Now let's go to our power and ground for our camera. Never been a big fan of powering cameras off of flight controllers, but with this video transmitter, and I'm about certain the 5-volt out from it. I always like powering my cameras from the video transmitter, but I believe the 5 volts out from it's pretty much done. So too good of a video transmitter just to throw away, so we're gonna try out this, see how well it works. And just do it. And just like that. Now all I gotta do is power my video transmitter wires. I've run them so I can solder these up to these legs. I'm gonna power my video transmitter. I'm just gonna put these smaller wires on these little ports right here. Then once that's done, reconnect the XT60. I'm gonna button all this stuff back up, and we'll be ready to configure it. Well, there she is, boys and girls. Buttoned up and ready to go. I'm not digging this blue and red TPU. Got me a 3D printer in here. I think I'm going to 3D print some black parts with some black TPU. Be a change I make to it. Kind of not liking this too much either. It's good enough for me to be able to test it out, but I may change all this around. Other than that, let's see what happens when we put a little power to it. Everything seems to have come on. Look, we got us a drone. So now the next step is going to go into EMU flight. Going to open up the trap door back here and access the USB micro port and get this thing all programmed and ready for a test flight.